Happy Saturday, guys. Hope you're well. This is going to be a quick 4 or 5 minute on what I'm calling the curse of 10 reps, which every PT and strength coach probably is aware of, and hopefully will echo my my sentiments on this. Now I've butchered this to death on my Instagram channel, so it's only fair that it migrates its way over to this one as well. And it is with this sort of, it's gone down in folklore that this magic number 10 is sufficient enough to hit regardless of the day and intensity and whatever's going on. As long as you get to 10 reps, you know, you should be fine. And we see this a lot with people in the gym. And the reason I say this a lot is because literally all of my clients are afflicted by this at some point or another, as much as I try to hammer it home. So it's woven into the fabric of consciousness, unfortunately. So we all know consistency is important, right? We don't need to bang that drum. But consistency without intensity, you're going to get a really poor return of investment. And that's important for strength training and muscle building. You can make a case for cardio, right? I know lots of keen runners who do, whenever they go out, they want to beat previous PBs and stuff. But a lot of people also just want to get out. They're just going to go for a certain distance. Yes, if they make the time, it's not that important, but they also reap the benefits of getting the heart rate up and getting outside in nature and, you know, getting fresh air in, etc., and just getting a little sweat on. Whereas in the strength and muscle building world, the entire intention, more often than not, is to go in there because you're trying to increase strength, build muscle, which means you have to push past certain thresholds for adaptation. And so it becomes super important, especially considering the time to work ratio is a lot different than cardio. With cardio, you get everything that you're putting into it. If you go for a 30-minute run, you're getting the 30-minute kind of benefits. With strength training, you can be in the gym for 45 minutes to an hour, and due to rest breaks and grabbing the kit and warm-up sets, you're actually only got the time under tension for, 8 to 12 minutes. So you want to make sure that all of that time that's kind of wasted, you don't want any junk sets, basically. You need to make each set, each rep count. And if you're getting psychologically close to 10 and then stopping, when you could have done 11, 12, 14, 15, then you are missing out on a trick. And the reason I keep often coming in and saying this is because all the time I'm getting clients' programs back. And these aren't, by the way, beginners, because I wouldn't be setting 5 sets for beginners. But again, I see 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 over 5 sets. If your first set's 10 and your last set's 10, regardless of the homogeny, there's an issue with performance and intensity. And I'm not saying it has to be one, linear downward line from the first set being the max to the bottom, which you often get with more advanced athletes because they really do go for gold and leave everything on the table, and therefore that muscle is nuked, so therefore diminished returns are quite equal on the way down. Whereas with beginners or intermediates, what you'll get is as they warm up psychologically, you'll find their best sets are like 2, 3, or 4. And so it can have this kind of wave nature. But you would still see variance. The fact that you don't is kind of sets alarm bells off for me. They're kind of coasting their way through it. So, yeah, this now opens up a can of worms or sort of, a conversation, which isn't for this video, on what is failure. And, people are going to say, well, should you go to true failure, total true failure of the muscle, or do we not need to exhaust it that much? Are there actual benefits of what's called reps in reverse, stopping shorter so we don't push, so we can get more volume and more reps out throughout the sets going on? We don't push it towards injury, we put back, etc. And the answer is yes, kind of to all of those things. However, one thing to point out is, especially with beginners or the new intermediate lot who've only been doing it, sort of 1 to 5 years, you're going to find that what they more often than not call total failure is actually they've got 5 to 8 reps left in reserve or in the tank. But elsewhere blind they don't, but they kind of do. So I would push most people at that stage to go to failure, knowing that you've got reps in reserve anyway. But the moral of the story in this is we've got to have the intensity coupled with consistency. And whether that's staying present, and first of all, it's realizing and recognizing that 10 is not a magic number. You will not just get results just because you hit that. You've got to, I don't mind you even hitting under that number as long as you had to stop. Whereas stopping because you've hit 10 and you could go on longer, that can potentially be a bit of a sin and you're going to leak results.